Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, brothers and sisters all over the world. Whatever time of the day this message finds you, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And yes, I am talking to each and every one of you all over the world. How you doing? My name is Thomas, and the name of this channel is the African Times. On this channel, I'm going to share with you my experience escaping America, moving from America and living in Africa. I'm going to give you this information as openly and as honestly as I can, because there are some of you out there who are thinking about making your escape from making your move, your relocation from Europe or America. And so I want to give you the best information that I can to help you make an informed decision to plan your escape, to plan your relocation. So let me just tell you, you know now what the focus of the channel is, but we're also going to have some wonderful segments that talk about issues affecting our lives, like the lives of our children, the lives of their children, our posterity. We're going to talk about these areas, and we like to consider them the areas of people activity. And we'll go into more detail about those areas in later broadcasts. But for now, you know, the main focus is to give you that information about my experience moving from America and living in Africa. So, having said that, let's get started. I'm going to put these glasses on so I can see you. You can see me, right? Oh, there you go. Now I can see you. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to start out first with leaving America. We did pretty much what everybody did. We did some research as best we could, knowing that we weren't actually in the location of the places we were thinking about going. So we used social media. We looked at a lot of interviews by YouTubers who were there, and we tried to kind of get YouTubers who gave us positive things. We looked at that information, but we also wanted to look at YouTubers who gave us negative information. We also tried to YouTube the government officials in the different places we were thinking about going to get a feel of the political climate, how people in the place where we were thinking about going, how they were functioning during this time of the C, the ooh, stuff that's going around. So we did that. Let me see. We YouTubed the other people, like the government officials. I mentioned those who YouTubed the people, the YouTubers who were there. We also YouTubed people who had left and tried to get the reasons why they left. And we also YouTubed like different news networks, you know, the standard ones here where in America with the CNN and the MSNBC and so forth. We YouTubed those interviews that they would do with whatever information we could find about the place that we were thinking about going. And then let's see what else. That pretty much covers the YouTube. I'll give you some news networks. No plug to any of them, but Al Jazeera, I think that's how you say it, Al Jazeera, the BBC, CNN, MSNBC, and Al Jazeera, for those who don't know, it's an Arabic type station, and BBC, British Broadcasting Company, I think is what that is. And you guys can check all that out. Just trying to give you the information. And then obviously CNN and MSNBC and so forth. And we looked at these different news companies and to get an insight of what that particular group, culture, whether it's the Americans, the British, the Arabs, or what have you, Chinese, what they were saying about the country. Also the government officials in the country, as I mentioned earlier. And that way we could compare and contrast, try to weed out the propaganda, right? And so let's see, after that, we did Google searches to read articles written by many of the people we just talked about to get a feel. Sometimes in writing, when it's a written subject, you can get a little bit more detailed information, a little bit more objective information too, without all of the glitz and glamour and the shock value that they put on the television or those types of media that's visual. So we read a lot of Google searches on that to get a feel what crime was like, what life was like, whether it was real or made up. And then we actually went to the government of the places we were going to go, because you can go there. A few of the places that we went, you go to the government website and they would have a link, and you click English and it would change all the information to English. And so we did that and read about what the policies were, what the costs were, what things you may have to do to, if you wanted to become a citizen, what you would have to do. If you wanted a long-term visa or what are the passport requirements, all of that type of stuff, everything that we thought might impact us, we went ahead and looked directly at the government sites and gathered as much information as we can. So I recommend you do that because it's very helpful. I printed out a lot of this stuff just so I could have it and read it. So having done all of that as best we could, and again, we were trying to get away, right? So we got as much as we could, and at that point we narrowed it down to 3 choices: Gambia, Tanzania, or Uganda. And Uganda quickly was a no because of like the restrictions that they were that they had, because of this spooky sea thing is going around, right? So they had some restrictions and curfews, and they were rather strict. And Uganda's a nice place. I don't want to give anybody the wrong impression. I haven't been there yet. I'm close neighboring to where we are now, but and I think it might be nice. I kind of like it, but that's a bit much. It's one of the reasons why we left America, right? So then that left us with Tanzania and Gambia. Now Gambia is really nice, and it's still in play. And look up Wikipedia Gambia. But what we liked about Tanzania was President Magufuli, the stance that he took with, the whole sea thing, the protectionist way that he looked out for his people and the other people, us, children. So we decided that we won't have to go there because there's freedom, no restriction. And so we came here. But again, Gambia is still in play because Gambia, I think, from what I dug in a little bit there, cost-wise, it's pretty. It's pretty affordable. Like, you can do it, you can survive. And remember, I'm talking about survival. Frankly, I'm just too old to sit back and be playing games the rest of my life and the lives of my children. And when I say I'm too old, if you're 21, if you're 16, you're too old. Gotta get serious because of what we're facing. But we'll get more into that. Don't get me on that soapbox. So we're gonna talk about those things. All right. So what we ended up doing is we packed up. We made the decision. We wanted to get out before they started. Like, we're from America, so wanted to get out before they started closing the borders, shutting down planes, requiring you to do certain things if you're gonna fly on the plane. Fortunately, we had our instinct caused us to get out, to move quickly, because many of those things are happening now. So we sold everything, gave everything away that we didn't sell, because for me, there was no returning. No, that was it.